game be on YouTube?
Well, it normally would, yes. I'm having to restart the network and dial my camera quality down to hopefully be able to keep it from buffering.
Internet's kind of bad in this hole right here.
It's really bad right here.
Yeah.
I'm using the same hotspot that I used for the boys' game this week, and it worked great. Using the same network, and it was great there, but it's really struggling here.
It's crazy.
So I'm dialing my camera down from 1080 from 1080p to 720.
What's your hotspot, Verizon or AT&T, or do you?
AT&T. Yeah, we use an AT&T. I have Verizon. We use an AT&T hotspot. We also have a T-Mobile hotspot. The T-Mobile hotspot didn't work worth anything down there the other night. But the T-Mobile hotspot works great at all the football games. Every away football game we had, no matter where it was, the T-Mobile hotspot was perfect. So
I was gonna say I've got a Verizon hotspot. If you need one, if you want to try it later.
okay. Let's see if this works. I hope it does.
Looking good, babe. Looking good. There you go.
There you go. Oh. It's all right. Give a piece of it.
Good job, babe. Let's go.
So are we going to the top of the third?
Top of the third. Yep.
All right. I think this worked.
Cool.
I think. All right, welcome back to Grace Game Day. We are, I think, in better condition. I think ground ball back to the mound and a close play at first, but out is the call. So one away in the top of the third. Grace leading this game 2-0. That brings up Banks for Brentwood. First pitch to her, grounded right back to the pitcher. Glances off her glove and safe at first. So now that brings Davis to the plate. 1 on, 1 out, top of the third. Ground ball, left-hand side, foul. So 1-1 the count. So the out at first moves the runner over to second.
Let's go, Riley. You're a hitter, huh? You're a hitter, kid. Let's go.
2 away. That brings Ransburg to the plate. Here's the pitch. Hit into center field, charging in and there, and she's got it. Mathis puts it away for the third out of the inning, and we're going to head to the bottom of the third with Grace still leading 2-0. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
Looking for a place to belong? At Hope Church, you'll find practical teaching, genuine community, and a fresh start each week. No perfect people required. Whether you're exploring faith or ready for your next step, there's a seat for you in person or online. Come as you are and leave encouraged. Start your week with hope. Visit yourhope.church.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day as we get set for the bottom of the third inning. Grace leading 2-0. They scored both of their runs in the bottom of the first on wild pitches that got past the catcher to the wall and allowed the runner from third to score. And so now due up, Sadie Areola coming to the plate. She walked in her first appearance. So here's Areola stepping in. That's hit deep to left center. And that's going to go all the way to the wall. Sadie around first, headed for second. And she's going to stop right there. She barreled up on that one and put it in the gap. And so Grace begins the bottom of the third with a double. Brings up Milena Cavley. One and 0 the count. Grounded just foul wide of third. Evens it up at 1. Sadie Areola, the base runner, on second. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And it bounces in, gets past the catcher, and Areola goes to third. So a scoring opportunity here. Nobody out in the inning. Swing and a miss. The count goes to 2-2. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. So now 1 away. Pitch comes in low. She fouls it off. Mackenzie Wolf, 0-1 the count to her. And she laces that one toward the third base dugout. Oh and 2. Here's the pitch. Just off the strike zone. 1-2 the count. That's hit into left field, shallow, and it falls. Areola is going to come home and score, and Wolf has an RBI single.
Go, Molly.
So that first pitch is inside to Molly Mathis. 0-1 so far in this game. Swing and a miss, strike one. Evens the count, 1-1. Wolf on first. And that comes in high, ball 2. Grounded on the left-hand side. Shortstop grabs it deep in the hole and has nowhere to go with it. Everybody's safe. So now that brings Aubrey Davis to the plate. She is walked in her first at bat. Grounds it right back up the middle. Nice snag by the pitcher. And she gets the out at first, but it moves the runners over to second and third. That'll bring J.C. Whitson to the plate with 2 on and 2 out. It's a way to get some insurance runs here. That first pitch is called a strike. 0-1 the count. Swing and a miss, but it gets past the catcher, and 1 run scores, and for a second I thought we were going to be able to get both runners in as the flip to the pitcher covering the plate went down the first baseline. Oh and 2 the count. Here's the pitch. Hit deep to left field and over the left fielder's head. The runner comes home, and Whitson cruises into second with an RBI double. So now Avery Blaylock comes to the plate. And she reached on a bunt. 0-1 the count. And a check swing strike. 0-2 the count on Blaylock. comes in high. High and outside, ball 1, 1-2. Blaylock steps back in. Whitson, the runner on second. That pitch is low, gets away from the catcher, throws down to third, but Whitson is there. And now she's headed home as the throw got by. And there will be no play at the plate. Whitson scores. Two and two the count. Inside, ball 3 brings the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Blaylock. And here's the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that retires the side. But Grace picks up some important insurance runs. Those runs brought to you by Allstate. Monette Taylor, the local agent in White House, Texas. We appreciate her support of Grace Game Day. We're headed to the 4th. Grace 6 and Brentwood 0. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
You have cancer. Sure wasn't expecting that. Not with these two. But my team at Texas Oncology has been right there for me. They said my family is a huge part of my treatment plan. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Right here is where I want to be. I'll see you in the morning. Sure wasn't expecting that.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day as we go into the 4th inning of play. Grace with a 6-0 lead. Milena still on the mound for the Cougars. She's pitched a solid game through the first 3 innings. That pitch is just outside, ball 1. Swing and a miss on a pitch down the middle. That's Shepard at the plate for Brentwood, and it's 1-1. Outside corner, strike call, 1-2. The 1-2, and rolls it in, evens the count at 2-2. Grounded to short. Wolf is there. Bird is there. And the out is made at first. Grace Bird with the scoop and throw across the diamond. And there's 1 away. Kennedy steps in for Brentwood. And she hits one into center field. It's falling fast, and it's going to drop. Kennedy heads to second base. As the ball is thrown in, Whitson cuts it off in the infield. Holds it to a double. So a 1-out double has Brentwood with a runner in scoring position. Mathis with a long run to get there. Wasn't quite able to do it. That's ripped into right field for a base hit. And the runner's headed to the plate. Throw goes over Areola, bounces off the wall. And Cavali is going to corral that and put an end. But a run scores on the play, so it's now a 5-run ball game. Still one away in the top of the 4th. As the center fielder Ballinger steps in. Shows bunt, bunts one down the first base line, twisting, and it's a fair ball. It was twisting foul, had the spin on it that was bringing it back toward the field of play, and while it was on the line, Whitson touched it. And so now we've got runners at the corners with still 1 out. And an excuse me bunt, and that's going to be foul. Wolf cheating in at third as now she shows bunt, tips that one off. It's 0-2. It's now with 2 strikes on the count. We'll see if she continues the attempts to bunt. 0-2. Runners at the corners, 1 away. Swing and a miss. That's a big strikeout right there. So now there's 2 away with runners still at the corners. Grace leading 6-1, top of the 4th. Runner goes, and Ariola fakes the throw and then looks down at third. So runners at second and third, 1-0 the count. And Wolf scoops it, throws across, safe at first. And so a run comes home. Garza with some speed down the first baseline to get there. Gets us back to the top of the lineup for Brentwood with Banks. And she grounds one to short. Here's the throw across, and it is true. And so that retires the side. Brentwood able to plate a couple of runners, but Grace stops the bleeding there. And we head to the bottom of the 4th. Grace 6, Brentwood 2. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
Need a boost before school? Or a sweet treat to celebrate the big game or a great grade on a test? Brewed fresh, poured bold. Lattes, cold brew, espresso, and more. 2 legendary names, 1 sweet shop. Bluebell plus Tillamook equals scoop and grind magic. More than a shop, it's your local hangout. Great coffee, amazing ice cream, even better company. Win or lose, celebrate with a scoop. Game days taste better at Scoop and Grind. Stop by Scoop and Grind today. Located on Highway 64, just 3 miles from the Grace Upper Campus.
I'll see you soon at Scoop and Grind.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor, bringing you the action live as Grace is hosting Austin Brentwood on a beautiful afternoon for softball. This is game 1 of a doubleheader. The boys baseball team is also playing a doubleheader right now. First game of their doubleheader began at 1, just like this one did. Second game of this doubleheader is scheduled to begin at 3. The boys baseball second game is scheduled to begin at 4. And Grace Game Day will be live for the boys game at 4 o'clock. Strike call on the inside corner. Caroline Fox at the plate. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now the count to Fox. She steps out of the box for a moment. And now she's back in. checks her swing. That pitch come in just a little bit high, 1-2. Shepard on the mound still for Brentwood. That pitch is high and outside, evens the count at 2-2 to Fox. Here's the 2-2. Inside corner called, strike 3. So there's one away now in the inning. And that's going to bring Grace Bird, the shortstop, to the plate. She's the leadoff hitter in the lineup today. Inside ball 1, so she's ahead in the count, 1-0. Foul tip at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away. Inside. And it did hit her. Caught just a portion of her. And now that brings Sadie Areola to the plate. She walked in her first at bat and laced a ball to the left center wall for a double in her second at bat. And we'll see how much they actually pitch to her here. The catcher is set up in the other batter's box right now. Two pitches off the plate, 2-0 the count. And now it's 3-0. And ball 4. So for all intents and purposes, an intentional walk. They had no desire to pitch to her in this moment.
Let's go, Milena.
So that brings up Milena Cavley, the pitcher. Late swing on a pitch that was dropping into the strike zone, fouled away. Runners at first and second. The 0-1. Low. And the runners are off. And everybody's going to be safe. So we move up a base. Runners now at second and third. 1-1 the count. Milena trying to help her own cause. Driving in some more insurance runs here. High and outside, ball 2. So a hitter's count, 2-1. High and outside again, so 3-1 the count. Popped up down the left field line and foul, so that's going to run the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Six to 2, Grace leading in the bottom of the 4th. 1 out, 2 runners in scoring position. Here's the payoff pitch. And ball 4, the bases are loaded. It's going to bring Mackenzie Wolf, the third baseman, to the plate. 1 away and nowhere to put her. That pitch is high. Ball 1. She pops it up third base side, and it falls foul. Coach Ariola comes over, has a little conversation with Wolf, and she gets ready to step back in. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away, bases loaded, 6-2 ball game. Ground ball to the shortstop. It kind of eats her up a little bit, and everybody is safe. She put her glove down to field it, and it just ran up the gloved arm, bounced off her shoulder, and bounced away from her. Nothing she could do on that one. So 7-2 the score. Now inside to Mathis. A nice job by the catcher to keep that from going to the wall. One and 0. That pitch is high. 2-0 to Mathis. She's 1 for 2 in this game. And a late decision swing there. She's not able to catch up with it. 2-1. She takes strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Still 1 away, bases loaded. Grounded back up the middle and into center field for a hit. 1 run is home. And we're going to stop at third.
Good job, girl.
So the bases remain loaded. And it remains 1 away. And now Aubrey Davis is going to step in. Strike 1 call on the first pitch to her. Grounded left-hand side. Third baseman bobbles, throws across, and gets her, but it's going to bring home another run. So now with 2 away, J.C. Whitson comes to the plate. J.C. Whitson had an RBI double in her last at bat. And that pitch is very high, ball 1. Ground ball back to the pitcher. The throw is good, and that's 3 away. But Grace scores 3 more runs in that frame. And so as we move to the 5th, Grace 9, Brentwood 2. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
Looking for a place to belong? At Hope Church, you'll find practical teaching, genuine community, and a fresh start each week. No perfect people required. Whether you're exploring faith or ready for your next step, there's a seat for you in person or online. Come as you are and leave encouraged. Start your week with hope. Visit yourhope.church.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day as we head to the 5th inning. Cougars leading this game 9-2. The only inning that they have not put runs across the plate is the 2nd inning. Outside of that, they scored 2 in the 1st, 4 in the 3rd, and 3 in the 4th. Davis to the plate to lead off. First pitch to her is high, ball one. She slaps that one down the first baseline, just foul. Here's the 1-1. If that missed, it didn't miss by much. 2-1 the count. That area of the zone has been a strike all afternoon, but 2-1 it is. Popped up. Cavley is there to put it away. First out of the inning. Brings up Ransburg to the plate. First baseman for Brentwood. Strike call on the first pitch to her, 0-1 the count. I want to say a big thank you to Scoop and Grind for being a sponsor of Grace Game Day. Right now, if you go into Scoop and Grind and tell them you heard about them on Grace Game Day, you'll get 10% off your purchase. Ground ball, left-hand side, knocked down, and not able to do anything with it from there. Bird did a great job getting to that ball. So a runner on first. Scoop and Grind located just a couple of miles away from the upper campus. Go to Chapel Hill, turn left at the light, and it's right there on the left. Great coffee, great ice cream, great milkshakes, all the good stuff. Swing and a miss, strike one. Shepard at the plate. She's been on the mound for Brentwood for the last couple of innings. So once again, Scoop and Grind. Let them know, hey, I heard about you on Grace Game Day, and they said I'd get 10% off my order. Grounded to third. Long throw across. Well done. Runner moves down to second. There's two away in the inning. And that brings Kennedy to the plate. She had a nice hit her last time up. Swing and a miss on that one. 0-1 the count. Popped up over the screen and out of play. So now it runs to 0-2. Cavley looking to execute a shutdown inning here after 3 runs were put on the board for the Cougars. She's doing her best to leave Brentwood blank. High, 1-2. Runner on second, 2 outs, and we'll pause for a moment for Kennedy to tighten up those laces on her left cleat. Back into the box, 1-2. That pitch is high. She lays off. Two and two the count. Rocks and she deals. Hit foul down the left side, out of play. So another 2-2. Popped up, right side of the infield.
There you go.
And Davis is there to put it away. That's 3 away. The side is retired. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th. Grace leading 9-2. We'll be back right after this.
Looking for a place to belong? At Hope Church, you'll find practical teaching, genuine community, and a fresh start each week. No perfect people required. Whether you're exploring faith or ready for your next step, there's a seat for you in person or online. Come as you are and leave encouraged. Start your week with hope. Visit yourhope.church.
No, he's doing boys second gen.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor, bringing you the action here on the Grace Community Upper Campus. A new pitcher in for Brentwood. It's Kennedy. She began the game at catcher, and now she takes over on the mound for the Bears. Grace leading 9-2. And leading off is Avery Blaylock. Shows bunt, drops one down the first base side, and it is a nice play by Kennedy coming off the mound to get to it. And so that brings Caroline Fox to the plate. And that pitch hit her in the shoe. And so Fox is going to take her place at first.
Go Grace.
Now Grace Bird steps in. That pitch is low and inside for a ball. Fox thought about going to second. That pitch is high, ball one. Two and 0 to Bird. That pitch goes over to the screen.
Go Grace. Good out. One way.
3-0 the count. Kennedy's pitch, and it hit her. So now runners at first and second, both by a hit pitch. Yeah, that's going to draw a visit to the mound here for Brentwood. I'd like to say thank you to a couple of our sponsors. A big thank you to Joel Adams and Southside Bank. Thank you so much for your support of Grace Game Day. Also, Biomax Spray Foam Insulation. We appreciate them.
Go Sadie.
And now Sadie Areola stepping into the plate. Runners at first and second. And I think they're going to pitch to her. The pitcher just turned around and said outfield be ready. So and that first pitch bounces in and gets to the screen. So now runners at first, or excuse me, at second and third. And the catcher is actually set up behind the plate for this at bat. 1-0. And that gets by again to the screen. Nobody moves. And as they slide deeper and deeper into a pitcher's count, you got to wonder at what point do they decide not to put one in the zone. 2-0, one away. Very high, ball 3. Here's the 3-0. 3-1. Fouled off on the third base side. Hit deep to center field, chasing, nobody able to get there, and here they come. 1 run is home. Here comes the second run to the plate. And it's a 2-run double for Sadie Areola. Here's the 1-0. And it rolls in behind Cavley at the plate. High and outside, ball 3. So 3-0 the count. High, ball 4.
Good watch. McKenzie.
Here's Wolf, runners at first and second, still only 1 away. And it hit her. And now the bases are loaded. Molly Mathis coming to the plate. Nowhere to put her. Here's the pitch. High, ball 1. The 1-0. Behind her, here comes Areola. She's safe at the plate. And so that makes it 12-2, and that's ball game. So a mercy rule on that one, and that'll end it. Bottom of the 5th, and they call game 12-2. So congratulations to the Grace Lady Cougars for taking game 1 of this doubleheader. They'll have another game beginning here shortly. The boys will have a game beginning at scheduled to begin at 4, but it'll begin somewhere around that time, and we will be live for that one. So once again, congratulations to the Grace Lady Cougars. We will be back to live stream the Grace Lady Cougars senior game And so be watching for that. That will be coming up here pretty soon as we're winding down toward the end of the school year, and going to have a great time honoring the seniors on the Grace Cougars softball team. And so we are once again thankful for you to join us today. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, so long, everybody.